Who is Scarlet Frustration? That was discussed last recap.
Well, that's me.
So watch episode 18. This recap will discuss the paradox in which Scarlet Frustration and I, Scarlet Jr., both come from, the subconscious. Codex explained his hypothesis about this not too long ago.
From my readings back in 2022, there was a pulse that emitted from a juncture from Neptune. According to astrology, Neptune is a planet that governs dreams, illusions, spirituality, and the subconscious. This watershed event triggered simultaneously with the stimulation cortical activity from the dormant part of Scarlet Fool's mind, blurring the lines of reality and fantasy, creating the alternate reality, the subconscious. Two strong pulses emitting at the same time. Neptune's pulse and high levels emitting from the subconscious is what opened the door. This also explained how the door was opened to open again in 2024, when Scarlet Frustration placed his hand on my core during another juncture from Neptune. Strange sensation is the stimulating cortical activity in the dormant part of your brain through signal manipulation, capturing data from your expectations and experience.
The subconscious, a world based on ideology that the mind is a muscle that grows the more you experience and the more you know. Expanding the world into a larger domain similar to the growth of any muscle, the more they are worked out, the more they grow. In the subconscious, all those who live there are based on ideology of elves, often depicted as a race or species with high mental capabilities paired with pointy ears. Concepts of longevity is similar to ideas which can be either short-lived or around until the end of time. Scarlet Frustration is no exception to this. See, elf ears. However, we are not elves. We are concepts from the subconscious. Depending on which part of the subconscious can depend on a concept's outlook. However, Scarlet Frustration and I come from a part of the subconscious that was created from disputes, conflicts, and disagreements. However, as a singularity, a being that is not shaped by their environment or their surroundings, but creates a different outlook. As a singularity, I grow to have a strong passion against disagreements and arguments. You may be thinking maybe closer to my surroundings, but trust me, I am much different from these beings that inhabit that area. Instead of feeding into disagreements and hate, I traveled as a journalist exploring the subconscious, studying the art of zodiac magic. Every concept in the subconscious has an element to it based on the ideology of zodiac elements. Fire, wind, water, or earth. The alignment of stars when a person is born, in this case when a concept is conceived, sets their zodiac element attunement. My elemental attunement is water, and I became quite good at it. Some might go as far to say I am a prodigy. During my travels, Neptune's pulse plus cortical activity from the dormant part of the subconscious. So well, you know the rest of the story from here. So now I work with Scarlet Frustration to build up our organization, Infinite Singularity. Our goal has been awareness, unlocking perspective through experiences, philosophy, and education, simply put, unlocking the other subconscious. Currently, Codex has come up with thoughts on expansion.
Infinite Singularity's mission statement is to build a network of people who don't let their environment define them, but instead become something this world needs. When it comes to uniting people like this on common ground, the best interest of everyone is the common good. However, this cannot be achieved without more information. When studying the universe, you cannot just study one planet. Similarly, we need cultural data and context from around the world. First-hand second directive, Scarlet Frustration, establishing Agents of Scarlet,
is to build a network of trusted informants outside the U.S. and outside the walls of Infinite Singularity. This group will be known as Agents of Scarlet.
This initiative can assist in gaining intelligence on an area before arriving. I will make contacts, giving each agent a codename along with a codex frequency. We will also use the funds from the completed contracts to support our cause.
So where is Scarlet Frustration? If I had to say, somewhere handling business.
Don't get a page. I know the truth survives the thrill. I put my shit aside for real. I really thought this shit was real. Look in your eye, your kiss, your feel. I really thought that I was healed.
Go ahead, Codex.
Greetings, Scarlet Frustration. I hope you are enjoying your travel accommodations.
Tell me about the language spoken in the Philippines.
The Philippines language is made up of many different dialects. However, majority of Philippines speak Tagalog or Cebuano. Majority people can understand English but have difficulty speaking English. For further information, speak with our contact in the Philippines and the province of Manila. We found him within one of our networking channels. He was enlisted within the Philippines military as counterintelligence. Currently drives for an international version of rideshare called Grab. He has lots of information with current events on the local area you are traveling to. He is also very excited to work with our organization.
Why did you decide to work with us?
To help educate people, especially foreigners who want to visit the Philippines. To educate others on Filipino culture and traditions. To update outsiders of current events within the Philippines and educate others about Filipino history.
What is the status of the uniform reconstruction?
Reconstruction of uniforms currently in progress. 5% towards completion. Estimate time of completion? Unknown. Are you ready to be transferred to our contact, Agent Marcus?
Go ahead and connect us.
Connecting you to Agent Marcus. Stand by. Connecting you now.
Hello. Is that working? Kumusta? How are you doing, Mr. Frustration?
I'm good. Thank you, Agent Marcus. What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm a former military intelligence in the Philippines. I am from North Cotabato Province, the central part region in Mindanao Island. In Philippines, we have over 170 distinct languages and dialects, while Filipino based on Tagalog is our national language. My dialects spoken are Cebuano, Ilonggo, and Tagalog. In my province, we have more than 10 tribes with different cultures and dialects spoken. My wife,
Hola, buenos días, ¿qué tal?
she's a Chabacana, called for female, a Spanish-based Creole language from Zamboanga City, the western part region in Mindanao. Zamboanga City is also known as the Asia's Latin City. If we speak our own dialects, we can't understand each other. However, we are learning. But for now, we speak Tagalog to understand one another. I grew up in a rough part of the Philippines, lots of illegal drugs and violence. When I was young, I remember I always see people selling illegal drugs, sometimes right in front of me, handing over the money and the drugs. In my town where we live, there was always violence, a lot of incidents of killings, and we have what we call arido or a clan war. There was a time I personally witnessed a violence event when I was just going to the public market to buy some needs of my family, and those families with rido meet each other in the market, and they're shooting each other with a high powered firearms, and some of innocent people who were there was hurt, and others died hit by stray bullets. So it's difficult to live in a place with constant violence and illegal drugs. Nothing changed until Rodrigo Duterte became president in 2016. I joined in the military because of the hardships in life. I came from the poor family. My father was just a small farmer, and my mother is just helping him in the farm and took care of us, their children. So that was one of the reasons that inspired me to join the military and at least somehow get out of poverty a little. And also because of the place where I grew up in, and I wanted to help maintain the peace and order in our area. The Duterte's administration methods encompass range of strategies including his war on drugs, focusing in combating illegal drug trade, promoting social welfare programs like free college education and health insurances, and pursuing a more independent foreign policy with closer ties to China and Russia, reducing the Philippines' dependence on the United States. He also advocated for federalism, promoting greater regional autonomy. In his combating of illegal drug trade, it involves a controversial war on drugs. This is to considered as extreme because of the issues on extrajudicial killings, leading to significant controversy and international criticism.
I remember reading in the news Duarte told Obama to go to hell back in 2016. The U.S. had refused to sell weapons to the Philippines due to Duarte's war on drugs. The U.S. and the Philippines have been allies for many years before this. The U.S. used the Philippines as a base of operations in the 1950s during the Vietnam War.
You know quite a bit, Mr. Frustration.
For a long time, I was surrounded by people much smarter than me when I was in the military. I also served with a guy whose stepfather served during the Vietnam War. He said his father wouldn't talk about it much. Most Vietnam veterans won't speak about the experience.
Have you experienced war, Mr. Frustration?
Yes. Before coming back, they said when under the circumstances that we lived under during the tour, puts the mind into a state of constant higher alert. However, when you come back to a normal environment, the mind may keep its state of higher alert, or at times, the mind may disassociate back to those prior experiences. PTSD. What can you tell me about Angeles City, Manilla, BGC, and Intramoros?
Angeles City is a first-class, highly urbanized city in the province of Pampanga with a total land area of 6,027 hectares and a total population of 462,928 people in 2020 census. Native languages are Kapampangan and Tagalog. The city was physically located within Pampanga province in the region of Central Luzon, but it is politically separate and has its own local government unit. Angeles City is not part of Pampanga province. despite being geographically located within it because it is classified as a highly urbanized city and is politically independent. This means it has its own charter, independent government, and does not fall under the administration of the Pampanga provincial government. Angeles City became chartered city in 1964, granting it autonomy and separate governance structure from Pampanga. The name of Angeles City is derived from the Spanish El Pueblo de los Ángeles, which means the town of angels, in honor of its patron saints, Los Santos Angeles Custodios, the holy guardian angels, and its founder, Don Angel Pantaleon de Miranda. But these days, it is best known for its high concentration of casinos and vibrant nightlife for men. The city is having low crime rates compared to other cities in the Philippines and one of the best places to live in the Philippines. Manila, the capital city of Philippines and second most populous city of the Philippines, located in the National Capital Region or NCR, also known as Metro Manila, with a total land area of 3,885 hectares and a total population of 1,846,513 people in 2020 census. Historically, Manila was also a province, but it is now a highly urbanized city within Metro Manila, which is not a province itself. Manila is a densely populated bayside city on the island of Luzon. It mixes Spanish colonial architecture with modern skyscrapers. The city became known by the name given by its Tagalog inhabitant as Manila, first recorded as Manila or Manila. The name is based on Danela, a flowering mangrove plant that grew on the marshy shores of the bay. Manila serves as the center of culture, economy, education, and government of the Philippines, and is the center of industrial development. It is also the main gateway for international travelers going to the Philippines by flight, as well as the international port of entry. Manila is considered to be part of the world's original set of global cities because its commercial networks were the first to extend across the Pacific Ocean and connects Asia with the Spanish Americas through the galleon trade. Famous food in the Manila that every visitor should try are such as Max's fried chicken, kinilaw, Filipino fusion, kare-kare, halo-halo, and buko pie. The famous places to visit in Manila are such as Manila skyline viewed from Intramoros, Rizal Park, Fort Santiago, Intramoros, Manila Cathedral, Minor Basilica of the Black Nazarene, Ayala Museum, Cultural Center of the Philippines, National Museum of the Philippines, Chinatown in Binondo, and for a modern twist, considered Bonifacio Global City or BGC. The crime rate in Manila is 37.06% in the February of 2025, according to the National Capital Region Police Office or NCRPO. The NCRPO recorded 343 focus crimes in February 2025. Classified as focus crimes are murder, homicide, physical injury, rape, theft, robbery, vehicle, motorcycle theft. Overview: walking at night in Manila can be risky due to a high levels of street crime, and potential for encounters with intoxicated individuals, while some areas like Makati, Pasay, and BGC are well and generally safer. It is best option for taxis or ride-hailing app like Grab or night travel. BGC is a modern, master planned urban development in Metro Manila, known for its upscale residential areas, commercial spaces, and a vibrant lifestyle scene. BGC is owned by Fort Bonifacio Development Corporation or FBDC, which is a joint venture between Basis Conversion Development Authority or BCDA, Ayala Land, and Evergreen Holdings. FBDC serves as the master planner of BGC. Historically, BGC was a U.S. military base during the American colonial period. The U.S. government established Fort McKinley, a military base covering 2,500 hectares of land, which included parts of what are now Taguig, Makati, Pateros, and Pasig, named after then U.S. President William McKinley. The fort was a strategic site for the American military, playing a key role in the Philippines' defense during World War I and World War II. After the Philippines gained independence, Fort McKinley was turned over to the Philippine government in 1949 and renamed Fort Bonifacio in 1957. It later became the site of BGC. The Heroes Cemetery is also located in the area. This is a memorial ground for Filipino soldiers who fought during World War II, as well as for Philippine presidents and other honorable Filipino citizens. World-class hospital is within reach as St. Luke's Medical Center is located within the area. BGC also boasts remarkable international educational institutions, including the British School Manila, International School Manila, Manila Japanese School, Korean International School Philippines, Everest Academy, and MGC New Life Christian Academy. At the same time, University of the Philippines and De La Salle University recently opened their extension campuses in the area. The area's modern infrastructure, including master plan roads, pedestrian-friendly design, and new connections to other central business districts. BGC is considered as one of safest areas in Metro Manila with low crime rate. This is attributed to its strong security presence. Intramoros, the historic walled city in Manila with a total land area of 66 hectares and 7 fortified gateways around the walls, granting access in and out of the city. It is situated at the site of former palace of Raja Sulaiman during the late 15th century. Intramoros is renowned for its well-preserved Spanish colonial architecture, including the iconic Fort Santiago and San Agustin Church. It serves as the center of political, religious, educational activities during the Spanish colonial period, and today is popular for tourist attraction. The name Intramuros comes from the Latin phrase Intramuros, which means within the walls. Intramuros has a dress code, especially when visiting places of worship. Intramuros is generally safe to walk for visitors, especially during the day. Tourist police and security personnel are present, and most attractions are within walking distance of each other.
Looks like we are arriving. Thank you, Agent M.
No problem. Paalam!
Paalam!
Farewell.
Oh my God.
When you pull up on me, better know what it's for. Fuck around, make you go ghost. The cold shoulders, what I'm giving the most. Baddies, they off from the coast. To the flow, all they ask, they gon' throw.
Underneath the surface,
It is
subconscious
my honor
lies.
and pleasure to introduce to you the 45th and the 47th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
According to the NYPD, the venue was at capacity, and a queue of about 15 people had formed outside. That's when police allege 4 suspects began firing into the waiting crowd.
Protests
Vice
rise.
President Sara Duterte rallied in the capital Manila and other key cities to put pressure on lawmakers to oppose an impeachment movement against her.
At least 3 impeachment complaints have been filed against Vice President Duterte. The complaints stem from alleged misuse of funds under offices she led.
Donald Trump using his first day back in office, making good on a campaign promise to rein in government spending, signing an executive order establishing the Department of Government Efficiency.
Known as Doge. Okay, that's a big one.
Tech billionaire and close Trump ally Elon Musk will officially head the effort solo.
Like
ordering
the
the federal
ocean's
government
tide.
to officially recognize 2 sexes, male and female. Under the order, federal taxpayer money cannot be used to fund transition services. There have been some federal prisoners who have had gender-affirming surgery paid for with federal
Smoke up in
On
this
Tuesday,
war.
Trump signed an executive order to end DEI programs. And today, he ordered all government staff working on these programs to be put on immediate paid administrative leave. Speakers argue Trump's focus on the federal workforce only alienates those who keep our government
Nowhere too
measures
high.
against Colombia after its government rejected 2 military flights carrying migrants. This marks the first retaliatory action the administration has taken against another country over immigration issues. Trump's proposed tariffs would be 25% on all goods coming into the country, saying that would raise to 50% the following.
Tyrants lead.
New details allegedly inside Diddy's world before his shocking arrest. He says his then boss asked him to purchase supplies for parties dubbed Wild King Nights. Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all charges. His attorneys releasing a statement saying, no matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never sexually assaulted or
With
sex
selfish spite.
Just after 8:45 Wednesday evening, an explosion lighting up the night sky in Washington as a passenger jet and military helicopter collided in midair. And U.S. figure skating confirming several athletes, coaches, and family members were on
Truth
the plane.
buried deep.
In the 1990s, Tessie, the Philippines then was called the kidnapping capital of the world. Did you ever think that many decades later, talking about the same issue yet again?
It's not optional for us to reduce the federal expenses, it's essential. It's essential for America to remain solvent as a country, and it's essential for America to have the resources necessary to provide things to its
We
citizens.
crave the light.
Several weeks ago, Donald Trump was inaugurated for a second term as president. Standing right behind him were the three richest men in America, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg. Three guys, $232 billion richer since Trump was elected.
Researchers saying despite all of the snow and ice we've experienced so far this year, last month was the hottest January on record, if you can believe that. That's from a global perspective. Carbon emissions hit record highs in 2023 and 2024.
Scorched earth.
According to the USDA, avian flu has been confirmed in 146 flocks in the past month, affecting more than 20 million birds. 34 million egg-laying hens have been culled since December. At least 68 confirmed cases of bird flu last year, according to the CDC.
Luigi Mangione's first time before a judge since his December arraignment on murder and terror charges. Investigators say they have overwhelming evidence showing Mangione targeting, then murdering Brian Thompson outside an investor meeting in Midtown Manhattan.
You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
You're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this. You're in no position to dictate. You're gambling with World War III.
Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has been arrested on an international criminal court warrant for crimes against humanity. He was taken into custody at Manila Airport on returning from Hong Kong. The ICC has been investigating the mass killings that happened during Duterte's crackdown against illegal drugs.
I may not be absolutely
Darkened
clear tonight.
sky.
I do think we're going to be able to get a pretty good picture of the total lunar eclipse. Maximum eclipse is going to happen just before 3 o'clock in the morning.
Carmela has been teaching in the Special Services Department since 2020 and on the coaching staff for both boys and girls since August of 2021. After taking Carmela into custody yesterday, it's understood a lengthy notes entry obtained on her iPhone. I'm not a second choice. I'm the best thing you'll ever have, even with all of my mistakes.
Is vowing to crack down on the rising number of Tesla attacks at car dealerships across the country.
Teslas are being torched across the country. Dealerships shot up and set on fire. Spray paint to vandalize and make a statement. People in Southern California are getting notes on their Teslas, calling them complicit Nazis for owning electric cars. People are protesting Elon Musk's role within President Trump's White House, leading the Department of Government Efficiency's cuts to federal spending.
And then yesterday, we saw an absolutely chilling story out of Michigan, where immigration agents detained and demanded to search the phone of an American citizen at the Detroit airport after he returned from a vacation with his wife and 2 daughters. And his only infraction, at least as far as we can tell in the eyes of the Trump administration, appears to be that he represents a pro-Palestinian demonstrator.
Only united.
People at Daley Plaza want to turn the tide of the Trump administration.
There's a lot of energy. People are very upset right now.
The protest in Chicago is part of a national movement.
And this is nationwide.
Calling on the government to uphold the Constitution and end executive overreach.
Panicked students scrambled to safety. The alleged shooter has been identified as 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, an FSU student who was shot by police. Officials say he is the son of a local sheriff's deputy.
Just one day after President Trump's attacks against Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, Trump calling Powell, quote, a major loser and pressing him to cut interest rates. But the biggest shocker on Wall Street is Tesla. The electric car maker missing earnings and revenue expectations for the first quarter of 2025. In fact, Tesla reporting a 71% drop in profits.
That is significant.
Filipinos are heading out in droves ahead of the Holy Week break, and transport officials are busy working to ensure a smooth trip for travelers. Jervis Manahan reports.
Government regulators have raised the status of all airports under their jurisdiction to heighten.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends.
Here's burial sites all over the place. These are all white farmers that are being buried. Kill the white farmer and take their land.
Can
how
hope
does it get
rise?
worse?
They rob you blind and you thank them for it. That's a tragedy. That's a scam. That's why I'm saying this right now. Americans, you don't need a tariff. You need a revolution. For decades, your government and oligarchs only ship your job to China. Not for diplomacy, not for peace, but to exploit cheap laborers. And in the process, they hollowed out your middle class, crushed your working class, and told you to be proud while they sold your future for profit.
Now go forth and unlock more subconscious mind.